Hi, Daniel. How you doing? I don't see anybody else here yet. It's good to see you though. Um, so today is June 26th, right? 2025. Well, this is Melissa, your free range psychic. And God, there's too much going on, Daniel. It's too much. uh, they ruined the plot. Just too many things going on. Um, so anyway, I was just reading about the Jeff Bezos wedding. What an insanity. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Carolyn. Hey, guys. Oh, my God. It's amazing the world is still in existence. There's too much going on. That's I heard, Mama. That's what I was saying to Daniel. Too much. I don't even know anymore. It's every day. It's something crazier and different. Mm-mm. Hey, Juanita. Hey, Brenda. Hey. Thank you for showing up. Hey, Sandy. So I was just looking at an article that popped up. So this is from Gizmondo. Hey, Artistic Worlds. It says people continue to come. I will read this. It's ridiculous. Jeff Bezos' wedding plans disrupted after protesters threatened to fill Venice canals with inflatable crocodiles. Yeah, that's for a lot of people here. So I'm going to just read the rest of this article for short. Jeff Bezos is getting married this week in a lavish wedding filled with famous guests, probably including, Ivanka and, all those guys. It's rumored to cost as much as $75 million. The Amazon founder and his bride-to-be, Lauren Sanchez, have arrived in Venice, Italy, for the celebration, but protesters have already derailed some of their plans. Specifically, activists threatened to fill the Venice canals with inflatable animals to make sure the guests would be unable to get around. Activists with Greenpeace, No Space for Bezos, and a UK-based group called Everyone Hates Elon have all been making their displeasure known this week, with a large banner unfurled in St. Mark's Square reading, "If you can rent Venice for your wedding, you can pay more tax." But the main victory that protesters are claiming thus far is forcing Bezos to change venues for the wedding, which was originally slated for Scuola Grande della Misericordia, Old School of Mystery, a 16th century church and meeting building. Organizers from No Space for Bezos told the BBC that they've gotten the venue moved to the Venetian Arsenal after saying they would fill the canals with inflatable crocodiles, flamingos, ducks, and unicorns. Yeah, that's how it's done, baby. Hey, JC, I'm glad you're here. Yay. Uh, um, it's gonna be crazy time. They should do like a mini series on Netflix, like like so maybe like a plot and counterplot and the kind of craziness. Um, Not enough Botox in the world, I'm sure, to service everybody. Or maybe they're going to use up all the Botox in the world. Don't you think? All the people are there. Oh my God. Hey, Teresa. So, hey, Carol. Um, oh, thank you, Anita. Thanks very much. Um, yeah, I kind of wouldn't mind being in Venice with the protesters just to watch it all play out. I'm sure they've got more surprises in store. Um, Jesus. Oh, sorry, Jesus. Jesus. So I was looking at JC and then. Um, It's not about Bezos. Real issue is about capitalism, how capitalism is antithetical to democracy. The core issue is the obscene gap between the rich and the poor. I think Bezos represents that pretty well, but yeah, it can be extrapolated to a much more broader theme. So all the stories that are going to come out of that. So I can't even believe it's just been a week since I came on. And the thing that I didn't see, do you remember I was saying, I think I was locked into, it wasn't my guides, it was me locked into a certain like paradigm or framework where I just assumed, 1 + 2 = 3, but not necessarily in this case, about the bombing of Iran. And because I thought if Putin doesn't want it, and Iran and Putin are allies, that the felon wouldn't do it unless he went rogue. But then the more things are coming out, the more it's occurring to me, and what I didn't see and didn't even perceive of seeing, so my guides couldn't really show me, was that because Iran had already moved their uranium out of those places, and then when they did the revenge, bombing of the bases in Qatar, they'd already, and I think Trump himself or Fallon himself admitted we'd already been told that yes, that nobody was going to be hurt. We got people out of there. It was how performative is that the correct word? It was, and I started thinking back to. Do you remember the very first thing or foreign meeting that the Felon had was with the Middle East, with Qatar and Saudi Arabia? I'm not sure if Iran was there or not. Or Iran's really not Arabic. Iran is Persian, right? But there is connections, or there are connections. And what if? And I'm asking you what you think. What you think about the possibility that this was all sorted out there, and there was a lot of different quid pro quo going on. So what Iran got out, money, yeah, the Felon got a lot of money for this. If you do this, I'll move all my uranium out, or Iran will move all their uranium out, then we can speed up our nuclear program using that as a pretense, and we can actually get our nuclear weapon, because like the Felon, he didn't care. He loves nuclear. He'd love the whole world to be just blowing up, like a nuclear apocalypse. And so even though ostensibly to us it looked like the craziness and like this big crossing of boundaries, which it was for him to do that, and it didn't make any sense, and it seemed like Armageddon had been unleashed. But then this very limited response, and then all this information coming out about how we really didn't destroy their uranium program. It was moved aside, and because surely Iran could have done some damage. There's a lot of American bases around that area. There's chicanery going on, and the Felon only does things for him, transactionally. And if there was enough money that was thrown at him to use his illegitimate but powerful role as the American president, which he doesn't even have. I mean, he broke the law. It should have gone through Congress anyway. And notice there is no war now between the two countries. They did, Iran did use it as an excuse to bomb the hell out of Israel. But that was happening anyway. Like it wasn't going to happen. That was all going to happen with or without that. So there's something doesn't smell right to me about what we were led, the narrative, what we were led to believe. It doesn't make sense. And I wonder what else went on at that meeting. That was such an important meeting for the Felon to go to. with the Saudis and Qatar and all the other Middle Eastern partners. What was that about, really? I thought that was so odd that was the very first meeting. And then the plane, right, comes back with that stupid albatross. Um, yes. Hey, Selma. Hey, Forest Dreams. And everybody else who showed up and I didn't see. So, Ariana's saying Iran informed Qatar about the bombing before they did it so Qatar and the U.S. could prepare for it. So it's egregious, beyond egregious, that this stuff is going on. What a dangerous administration. And I believe it was illegitimate and that, Kamala won. But this coup, acting like a coup, because none of them have any respect for the courts. None of them have any respect for the Constitution. They're just coming in. They're not qualified for their positions, and it was you to our faces about that when you put a 22-year-old in charge of domestic terrorism. He used to be a gardener. Not anything wrong with gardeners, but he's 22 years old. And that's all experience he has. And there was something else he did along that line. What's really going on is it's just so insidious. See, the Artistic World says there was a deal made, trade-off against hidden crimes, etc. I believe this. Can you go into more detail? Because I'd love to ask you guys what you think. And the question that I never hear people asking in the media is why. Nobody asks, why did this happen? They just report it as a kind of a factual thing, and then they have an opinion about it, but they don't ask why. And we need to ask why. Oh, Finbar, I love Forest Dreams, so thank you for letting me know. Thank you. Um, oh, I remember him saying the things I do for the prince. So he did this for Al what is his name? MLB? Is that it? The prince, the Saudi prince. So you're saying this guy, the 23-year-old, was an intern at Fed Society and comes from big money. I thought big money was behind it. I thought he was somebody's, fortunate son. I saw that. Yeah, Danielle. They zip tied the seniors in wheelchairs protesting DC. Of course they did, because they're full on now. They're full on. This is a coup, and this is an autocratic coup, and it's sponsored by Putin and others, and that this is who they are. We have to accept that this is who they are. Because they are that. They are the same people who stormed the Capitol, the same people who, tried to, steal the elections, and that's who they are. They didn't change just because they now seem legitimate or they have these positions of power. MBS, thank you, Artistic World. Horse dreams he has crooked eyebrows. Hi, Lori. Good afternoon. Hey, Stephanie. Judith. So this is what we need to understand and to heal our cognitive dissonance, because that's what's really kind of, so it's difficult for me because I know that I'm being fooled. I know that I'm being lied to, but what's really going on. And that was horrible. Learning about the bombing, it was just terrible, terrible feeling. And my guys had said, that he wasn't going to go to war with Iran, and it didn't make any sense. And that was cognitive dissonance. Well, he's just bombed Iran, but then now it all makes sense. I mean, the idea that he would go through with it is, it's insanity, and also, the boundary issue, and knowing who, there is nothing he won't do, um, for a price. Ivy, that's okay. Um, yes, Selma, absolutely. So many of them are, and there's so many deals. It's like that Six of Pentacles card, quantum, like so many hands like reaching out for money, and then money being given. It's just like that's the whole thing. That's what these guys want. In the meantime, they do it also. It's the Five of Swords by pressing, who they consider the unworthy, the underdog, the 99%. Punish us so they can be these unrestrained kings of swords. I'm doing tarot speaker. So, hey, Mimi. Oh, you were here earlier when you were saying every hi to everybody. I just hate thinking that I miss out on saying hello to people. But never mind. As I said before, saying hello twice is fine. Were you here earlier? If not, never. I won't upset. Hey, Jean. Oh, okay, fine. You're always here so early, but nice to see you. Um, Forest Dream says, when I heard about the bombing, I thought the U.S. was done. We have been so betrayed by everyone. I'm having trouble trusting the guides now. But it's not the guides' fault. It's our inability to hear them properly or to even understand. I think because guides are, I've always said that I mean, and that's also the evil of this administration is they want us to not trust our guides. They want us to disconnect with our higher selves and to lose our spirituality and to lose they want us to come from a high vibration to a low vibration. And this is what they want. And we have to be careful about that. But even if we hear the guides wrong, or the guides can't even tell us certain things because maybe we're not supposed to know, it's never them. It's us. It's always the human, because the guides are beyond all of that. And maybe it was just something, like, what was the question we asked them? The question would have been in a framework that actually wasn't the right question. If we had asked them, yeah, will the Trump bomb Iran with Iran's permission, and nothing will happen? That maybe that answer could have been given. But think about like the tone of the emotion that goes behind that question, though it's best to be detached when you're asking questions. The truth of it was that we weren't going to go to war with Iran, that wasn't going to happen, that this was a ruse. That's the thing. I think that's a confusion. But how do you know to ask that, right? Initially, anyway, because of how it felt, and it was just, the press. It was given a narrative that this was it was the apocalypse, and there's going to be a huge war between the states and Iran. But it didn't turn out that way. So the guides were right about that. We were hearing them correctly, but not quite in the framework that we were asking. It's very confusing. I think that's what I got out of it. Oh, Lord. What gets me is that, oh yeah, he has a kind of eyebrow that arches up. He looks a little like Big Balls, doesn't he? Who, by the way, is out. Big Balls was fired by Sergei Gore, who I guess is the vetting person for the administration, who has been accused, dun dun dun, by Leon, of being a Russian plant. Tune in next week. It is such a soap opera. Did anybody see that? That Big Balls has left the building? That whole Iran's permission never made any sense, Melissa. What do you mean, Lori? Well, the whole thing doesn't make sense. But there was something, the fact that Iran emptied their silos of uranium well in advance, and some people say it's because it was Trump was tweeting it out, like it wasn't a secret. But I believe the way that it's worked out, that it was a choreographed thing. Oh, Karen Bauer. Yeah, Big Balls is the, and he calls himself that, the young 20-odd-year-old Doge person that Leon put in to eradicate the departments of our government. That's what his name was. I don't know. I can't remember his real name. And he's from Big Money, and he has a Russian connection. But apparently Sergei Gore, who's been accused by Leon of being a Russian plant, and apparently on his application, he says he's Maltese, but he's actually Leon says he's Russian, and yeah, God, it's hard to keep up. And the reason I read allegedly that that happened was because Gore has been really kind of against Leon, and Leon thinks Sergei was one of the reasons that he's on the outs, because that relationship between the felon and Leon is still broken. There's still the star-crossed lovers or whatever, or they're enemies. That never got patched up. Yeah, the 22-year-old Thomas Fugate needs to go in front of Congress and explain how we will handle Iran's sleeper cell threats. The point of these people being put in is that they don't want to do that. They want to look. They've already dismantled or disbanded the departments that research espionage threats and are, kind of, what's the word? Like watching Russia gone. Why? We have to ask why. Why are incompetent people being put in these positions? Because the Russians want free access. They want to be here. They want to come in and be our government. I think Putin imagines himself sitting, in the Oval Office on the behind that desk. And I think that I don't want to miss your comments. Oh, thank you. I love you guys. Thank you for giving me, the correct information. Karen Big Balls was the nickname of the Doge tech guy. So he's out. So there's so much intrigue. It's like a Russian court. There's so much stuff going on behind the scenes. And there were rumors that Stephen Miller was on the outs. I still don't know where that's going, because the bombing of Iran blew a lot of other stuff out of our minds that we were seeing. Of course, the Epstein files. Who's that? Edward Corstein may be afraid of going to jail in the future. Finbar, who is that? So there's too much. I started out, for you guys who came late, at the beginning of the video saying I'm overwhelmed. There's too much going on. I can't keep track of it. I can't. I don't know. I feel so lost. And maybe that's, hey, Hazel. Oh, you're welcome, Karen. Hey, Ocean. Hey, Marby, maybe that's the reason. I mean, I keep on thinking of Bannon, flood the zone. Wondering, in the video photo of Trump stumbling up the stairs to board Air Force One, if you can see him wearing something beneath his pants, some kind of compression thing or what. Oh, that's big talk. Yeah. Before the bombing, we were all talking about that, which was him wearing a catheter. But not catheter. Yeah, catheter potentially on his leg. I think that's what. And people were talking about Carville. James Carville was talking about the bruise on his hand, and all kinds of talk was going on. Hey, you guys, can you hear me? Okay, I forgot to plug in my microphone, and I don't know if I'm just using the computer microphone, And is that okay? Is that working out? Obviously you can hear me, but I hope the quality's okay. Mimi saying, I do believe it will all implode. Yeah, I think so. July 1st, next Tuesday, going to be so much coming out next month. 4th of July, next Friday. Yeah, I think so too. Uh, all the astrologers were talking about, like, well, I would really watch Castigal. All this information that was going to come out in July. And I still think there's a lot of like revenge drama that's going to come out. I do believe it's genuine. The rift between Leon and, Felon. I think that's real. And I think that, I think Leon's getting very frustrated because he's being pushed out. And I think what happened is that whilst he was there and they were still, had their relationship, the people like Sergei and others, I think that they were probably trying to get into into Felon's ear, trying to, like put a wedge between them because the way that Leon acted was like he was president. And now that there is a wedge, I don't think they want to allow that. I think they want to widen that. I don't think they want to allow him back in. So let me see. I'm looking at your comments here. It's insanity that this is just like on a week-to-week basis when so much was going on before the bombing. I'm going to say bombing, quote, distraction, because I don't believe that was genuine in terms of an aggression. I think that was agreed upon behind the scenes. I'm not sure how Putin feels about it. Hey, Melissa, Mark Elias has a Trump tracker on his website, Democracy. He created because he was too feeling overwhelmed. It's too much. The foxes are in the hen house, and my guides just gave me the, the Seven of Swords. They're making all this hoopla, and then they're trying to get him run out with all the goods. It's a heist, right? Who's Heather Cox Richardson? And awful in what way, Finbar? Oh, good, Jackie. Thank you. So we have to be careful, I think, emotionally for ourselves and spiritually, to lose faith in the guides. It's not the guides' fault. It's not the divine's fault. It's our karma, and we're in the midst of it. I do believe the guides, when they say things are going to turn around, because I feel that, like, it resonates so greatly, but it will be what it will be, right? We still have to be here on earth, living our purpose, fighting for what we believe is true and just like in every lifetime. There's been this, maybe not in every lifetime for everybody, but there have, in every lifetime there is something that we're fighting for, to raise human consciousness and to raise human, the vibration of humans. What's under both legs? Oh, that you're talking. They're talking about the catheter. He's not well. I mean, look at him. The image that comes to mind now is the parade and how miserable DJ looked. I mean, he looked like he was thinking, I'm just going to kill everybody, or something, allegedly. Sorry, but I'm just gonna do the worst thing I can think of. Not that he would kill everybody, but or allegedly, entertainment purposes only. I'm almost only a psychic. What do I know? I'd have to say that. Yeah, I don't want to make any accusations on anything, but he looked miserable. And then boom. But I don't know if the two were tied together or not, because I think the transaction, and please let me know what you think about what I think, or what I think I hear from my guides about this attack on Iran, because I do more and more, I feel like it was performative, and I don't believe it was an aggression in the way that we thought it was. And I think it was a deal made in advance. And there's like a shell game, things shifting all the time to keep us not understanding the why, the intent. And because I think of Bibi Netanyahu and how I read so many articles about the potential of him being complicit in what happened, in October, of looking the other way from Hamas, and that his intent, and that my guides showed me too, was to allegedly decimate Gaza. Um, was he aware of the bombing of Iran that was going to take place? I mean, it was out there. If people knew enough to kind of take the uranium and hide it, and then our bases knew well enough to kind of like vacate before the bombing, what's really going on? It's driving me crazy. Okay, let me look at the comments here. False flag, yeah. Oh, he's been called daddy. Okay, Sabrina, no worries. Thank you, Sonia. Please hit the like and subscribe, and share, please do. So here you have Keg's breath, desperate for Trump's approval. Oh, he's just a pathetic man. But I saw this early on, is that I believe that he's there. He hasn't been gotten rid of, even though, man, Leon, not Leon, Fallon was so furious. He would have gotten rid of him for the messing of that parade. It was just pathetic. And Hesketh was the one who was supposed to, or was responsible for it. But I just see him with a direct line to Putin. So he's there because Putin wants him there, because Putin gives him complete access, allegedly. This is what I see, to our, Defense Department, which is why he was caught. Putin, not why he was caught because of Putin, but remember that he was caught putting in a private line, putting his own internet. And he has a Russian address, and it's just, he's Putin's man, and when Putin wants to get rid of him, then he'll be gotten rid of. Even though I believe he would have been gotten rid of a long time ago, if Donald had his way. So yeah, oh my God. But what we're seeing, like all of this, like craziness, we want it to make sense. We want some, even a vestige of any of those of the Felons administration having any ethics. I mean, the most ethical one so far is Tulsi Gabbard, who is not even invited anymore to I believe, to the briefings, because she told the truth about Iran not having nuclear weapons, that it didn't have one. And Fallon was furious. Can you imagine Tulsi Gabbard being the one that looks the most honest, and she's one of Putin's too. So what is going on? What do you guys think? What's going on between the Felon and Putin? Are they falling out? Especially with the NATO, right? The thought was that the Felon was going to leave NATO, but then the meeting in NATO, they really kind of, I think, really probably brilliantly played, posed up to him and complimented him and whatever, and so we haven't left NATO, and how did that make Putin feel? Because Putin wants us out of NATO. That's why there's so many moving parts here. Will Putin get even? Will he get even? That's a good question. Oh, hey, Rosario. regime changes in Iran and Russia. Yeah, I see that too, actually. I know that I started saying too much, but I'm missing out on this chat here. So Carol asked, "Will Trump send Patriot missiles to Ukraine?" I know Putin doesn't want him to. And will this break up? Putin and Daddy break up? Man, oh man, there's going to be a lot of info released by Putin. But I mean, how can Putin even tolerate it? Um, I think there's going to be the Patriot missiles. I am not sure about that. I'm not getting no, but I'm getting there's like a something trying to block it or stop it. I heard that they got all the proof of how they cheated on this past election. It will soon be released. I believe that, Sandra. I'm just I'm just waiting for it. I know it's all timing. It's got to come when it also that it can be powerfully used, to get them out. Um, yeah, there are some mysteries going on, and some things we just can't know right now. I wish we could. See, I think Putin was generally surprised that Finland was threatening supply missiles to Ukraine. Yeah, that's the thing. And Putin is the master of gaslighting, making us believe in a reality that isn't true. And then, as we're looking at this um, smoke smoke screen, there's the man behind the mirror that we're not seeing. So, and that's what he did to his people, to make them doubt reality, because it gave them more power. And that's how the Republicans got more power, making their people believe it wasn't true. And QAnon is it's the is it the antithesis of that? Is that the right word? So let's see. I'm asking about Putin and the felon, and forgive me. I'm just a human being. Nothing I say is written in stone. This is just what I'm getting. Could be right, or I could be wrong here, obviously, or somewhere in between. So Putin is not happy with the way things are going. He's not happy that his little hand puppet, Daddy, is so. It's like anybody who gets his ear, like he'll roll over for anybody if there's something in it for him. And he's always known this. And that's why he recruited him such a long time ago. They analyzed his character way back when, like the 80s, when if the what was it, Operation Krasnov, right? So he is in constant. That's what the guy's saying. He's in constant contact with Daddy, and but these days, because I think that Putin's less powerful because of his economy is crashing, and he's doing really poorly, and he seems to be more impotent. And so why should, even though Putin's like, I bought you this election, I made you twice, you got you, and you better do what I say. But I think that also because Daddy is he's more impulsive. He's got his allegedly his mental illness is worse. His dementia is worse. And he's desperate. He's desperate for money, because as much money as billions of dollars that he has, it just goes away. he owes a huge amount to Putin, but he also is in debt to, allegedly the Saudis and to China. And so he doesn't really have the money that he seems to have. And then, of course, the meme coins, all that. And the problem with him, I think, remember that when he was in, during his trials with the tax fraud, and basically it came out that he valued things according to what he wanted them to be valued, but they weren't necessarily, like, he would change the value of a piece of land regarding whether maybe it was going to be sold or whether it was going to be audited. He does that all the time. Yeah, loves peace. That's what I'm asking now, like how Putin's feeling about Daddy and or felon. And he's not. He wants everybody to be loyal to him, the felon, but he's loyal to no one but himself. No one, not even Putin. And in the end, Putin, they say, is going to be responsible for the demise of his hand puppets, because he's going to be thoroughly betrayed by him. When he finds out the deals that he made with the Middle East and with China, and that's going to allegedly enrage Putin to the point of not even caring who's in power after he is, after a felon is. So I feel like he's going to do some real damage. He's going to let some real information fly. I don't think it's going to be too long. He doesn't want to lose power. He liked feeling like he was the most powerful, wealthiest man in the world, and he's not that anymore, is Putin. Wow. So let me look at your comments here. I know I've missed a lot. Says, interesting. I thought he put the worst people in key positions because VP demanded it as part of destroying the USA. Yeah, absolutely. We talked, Cindy. We just talked about that earlier. I said that. He's going to put the worst, most incompetent people in power. That's the point. He's not doing it because he thinks they're competent. He's picking them specifically because they're incompetent. Specifically. So I wish it wasn't so. I wish I hadn't gone that way. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I say to myself, in my world, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are the president and vice president of the United States. I'm going to wake up and that's how it's going to be in my reality. It's just like, it's a silly thing, I know, but that's what I do because that's how it should be. I think the bombing of Iran just kind of woke us up to like the extent of the damage beyond what we even thought that he could do. But then it's kind of tempered in my mind by what I think is the fact that it was planned out. It was all planned out, and he did it. There was a quid pro quo in it, and he felt pretty good about it. And yeah, he did want his ego bolstered because he felt like so angry about the parade and how because he was trolled even by Russia, and it made him feel better about himself. People think I'm a real man now, not afraid to bomb another country, but he would never have bombed Iran, I don't think, if it wasn't already, this is just what I sense. It wasn't already agreed upon by Iran, and, God, whew. So let me think about anything else I really want to talk about. Yeah, and I'll answer your questions continually, but what else did I want to talk about today? And I felt so bad. Like I thought, oh my God, I was so wrong about the not seeing that Felon would bomb Iran or go to war with Iran, but it wasn't what I thought it was. So that's all I can say. And I apologize about being wrong, but I had to wrap my mind around what really happened. Love's Peace is asking me, what do I get on Anonymous regarding whether they're going to release information or not? I think the 4th of July would be a great day to do that. Be very symbolic. Yeah, they have a ton load. And I hear more and more in the, I want to say zeitgeist, like more and more people, even people like that in the independent media that for such a long time uh, didn't want to address the possibility of the election being stolen. They're talking about it now. I'm hearing it in a lot of places. It's more and more like the people are realizing that the demographics, the math ain't mathin'. So is that was that the question about Anonymous? Are they going to release information? Because I really do think they are. If there was another question in that, let me know. Love's Peace, you're saying, what's going to happen on the 3rd? I hope you're saying you hope Rump lives past his presidency so he can see what people really say about him. He's not doing well. Well, what do you guys think about his health? Any intuitive psychics out there who are getting hits on his health, on the felon's health? Kathy. So, Jean, what was the question? Oh, it was what does his fall look like? I can ask that. Yes, July 3rd. I wouldn't be surprised if it's around the 3rd or the 4th. Oh, sorry. So what does Stephen Miller's fall look like? I have to remember the question. Because he's responsible for so much harm. A horrible man. What does his fall look like? In the fall, Stephen Miller will. I don't know if I believe that, guys, but they're saying in the fall, Stephen Miller will not be in the government. Neither will the felon. So you guys, I asked you guys what you thought about his health. So I always see him having a stroke and in a wheelchair. Thanks, Mary. Yeah, I do too. Love's Peace. That's what I think. I think it would be about the election being stolen. Um, and Kathy says 45 is wearing down heart failure as he's tired a lot. Stephanie says not good. Be surprised if he lasts a year. Oh, Kathy says, yeah, 45 might have lung C19 as well. Yeah, he had it pretty bad. Yeah, he's truly evil. It's just like I see him full of walk-ins and demons, basically. Um, well, I didn't say that. You didn't ask me about this, or I don't know if Jackie, if it was you or somebody else, but I wasn't talking about the summer. Who knows? It could be out by the summer, but I was looking at the fall. So I didn't say by the fall he'd be out. I just didn't ask about the summer. Do you want me to do that? Because it's always about the questions, when you're talking to your guides. For me, anyway, I have to find the right questions. Let's see. No, he'll still, yeah, Jackie, you were correct actually, because he'll still be there in the summer, but he'll be out by the fall. Okay, that's the complete answer. AOC said it was strange that people voted for her in the same ballot they voted for F-45. It didn't make sense. Nope, it does not make sense. Sabrina says Trump knows he doesn't have long. Um, Jackie says karma for calling Biden Sleepy Joe. Who's a sleepy one now? Yeah, he's always falling asleep. The government, I mean, the government, this is what I really wanted to say. Being the head of or leader of the American government, being the U.S. president, that job just takes years off your life. It's huge. Um, no, I'm not saying it's just a huge deal because you're constantly traveling. You're constantly, um, your life is you're in a fishbowl, and you have to. You live somewhere you don't want to live. I don't. If you're 45, if you're Biden, yes, you love living there. But let me restate that. I was really looking at it from 45's mindset. So 45 is living somewhere he doesn't want to live. It's like a prison for him. He hates that place. Remember, he called it a dump. He just wants to be in this in Mar-a-Lago, in this familiar place where he can play golf all the time. He wants to be retired. He didn't want to be president. I believe the only reason he ran again was to stay out of jail. Otherwise, what was the point? As much money as he's making, it's all going to just disappear. So it is a difficult, and even for somebody, I would say it's a very difficult job, but even for somebody who doesn't really put that much in it, doesn't attend his briefings, plays golf more than any other U.S. president, it's still hard because he has to be at the summits in Europe. He has to fly to, Africa. Has he been to Africa yet? Because being the racist that he is, maybe he hasn't. But it's still requiring a huge amount of energy, effort, stress, and it's going to shorten his life. As unhealthy as he is, he might have had more time, but I see it just compounding on him. Okay, let's see. I'm sorry, missing questions. I'm missing comments. It's so obvious, this particular deal. Some people born without a soul. We'll get to that in a minute. Amazing video a few days ago that clearly explained why we all have to be subjected to the horrors of 45. It's not just his followers, but global ramifications of him allowing to do it. Interesting, T-Lin. So are some people born without a soul? I'm not going to say, that's a huge question. I'm just, I'm not going to give you a definitive answer because I can't, but I'll tell you what my guides say. Okay. Everybody has no, they're not saying that. You have to define soul. What is a soul? And then they'll answer that question for you. Let's see. I think Anonymous saved our computer systems and government regardless of Doge votes. Yeah, I think it's still going to be there. We'll be surprised at how much is actually still remaining. Les, he's constantly playing golf, but he still has to travel. He still has to be at the White House. He still has to, he's not immune to what people think about him. He watches, even when he's at Mar-a-Lago, he's watching the news 24/7. And then he's that's what I'm going to say. I believe he's a narcissist. They're addicted to adrenaline, addicted to stress, so he has to engage. He cannot he's not a person who can pull back from that kind of thing. Um, so let's see what. So is that your answer, Sabrina? Spirit of the Creator? Okay, I'll go back to them. Yes, then the answer would be yes. But not everybody's here for the same reason, and not everybody keeps their soul. Or it's better to put it back. Not everybody keeps their individual consciousness. Some beings just go back to energy. They kind of lose their privilege of having individual consciousness. Yeah, plus Taco, Mark, and losing again to Jean Carroll, right? There's a lot of other stress going on in his health. You know, if you have a heart condition and that any amount of stress, it's going to be a challenge. So I asked, oh, you're welcome, Sabrina. I had asked this question to my guides about Donald, the felon. Oh God, it went out of my mind. Let me see if I can get it back here. But he is. They say he's losing so much. Like it's so stressful. I mean, he has all the doctors in the world around him. He's losing memory, and he's in a lot of pain. So what kind of pain is he in? Oh, yeah, because of bladder pain. He's very depressed, actually. There's a lot of depression, and if you go back to his face during the parade, I mean that was like the most. You know, when people say you have a sour puss, it was a sour puss, um, and he just I'm feeling he doesn't have much time left, but that's just me allegedly. He's just it's a bad situation. And would all I know the question, would he have been happier like if he wasn't able to steal the election? I'm saying that. Would he have been a happier person, you know, just kind of like tootling off and, you know, showing up on Fox News, having his own, you know, the cult around him? Would that have been a better situation for him? Let's see. No, because they're saying it would be the same thing. He would still be upset. He's never going to ever be happy, like, could never be happy. Would he be healthier? No, they're saying because of other stress and possibly going to prison. And so either way, it's a bad situation for him. Um, oh, thank you, Sabrina. After the show, please leave a comment in the comments. It helps the algorithm. Thank you so much. That's a psychological question, right? Are multiple personality dissociative disorder people actually do they just have one soul? Do you know what I think? Okay, I'm going to ask the guides. I believe what can happen with people with multiple personalities. Well, you know the uh, the thought anyway that it's because of all the trauma and people had to kind of break up aspects of the personality as a defense mechanism or survival mechanism. And but I don't believe that. I think they have one soul, but they're fragmented in terms of how they're um, manifesting their personality. But then there's another possibility. I think a lot of narcissists have met. I just think a lot of them have, spiritually have walk-ins, you know, all manner of demonic beings, or just kind of like random disincarnate beings that want to manifest through a human, and so I think sometimes that's what you're seeing. What do you think? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, narcissists get nastier and more vindictive if you don't go along with their lies. They cannot abide um, uh, people who um, don't fall into their uh, control, and they will destroy them if they can. Yeah, that's true too, Sabrina. Telin, they also get more aggressive with dementia. Yeah, um, spirits attached to them. Yeah, attachments. So there's that aspect, and it's weird that everybody in that administration like end up looking like demonic, or they end up looking like they're made of plastic. Like the women. I think they all go to allegedly all go to the same plastic surgeon. Look at what happened to uh, Don Jr.'s Kimberly Guilfoyle. Look what happened to her face. She went from looking, like a normal human being to a monster. Every single person looks more and more demonic in that sphere. Hey, Celtic Seer, good to see ya. Les is saying Rubio has dead eyes when he was with Trump. Yeah, oh my God. He does. What is his deal? All these people like Lindsay and Rubio, like, what the hell? They sold their souls, surely. Tulin, oh my God, I had to call medics for mine. A team of 7, only one didn't look at me like I was crazy when I described the dead eyes and walk-in personality. There you go. Hey, Celtic Seer. New moon in Cancer yesterday plays nice with Jupiter, so good time to review home base, reorganize, declutter, but watch overindulgence. Thank you. Thank you for that report. Oh, I saw that movie recently. Yes, reminded me of the movie The Devil's Advocate. It has to be something like that. So go kind of into darker and darker realms when you sell your soul to that world. And there's no going back. There is no going back. I don't think for people like Rubio. So, wow, it's 4 o'clock already. It flew by. So, you guys, I think what I need to do for myself is just get grounded and try to detach, because I do that usually, but the bombing pulled me into a whole another realm of like, it was temporary, thank God, with fear, but I don't like to stay in fear, and I can't. Being somebody who does readings for other people and who tries to guide them, I can't allow myself to just give over to it. Plus, it's advice give to somebody else. I have to follow my own advice. So I know we have one more week. No, not even one more week of June, right? I think that this July started on Tuesday, and then we're coming into the 4th of July. Let me ask if there's anything else I can tell us. Oh, Sandra, you read where Kimberly Guilfoyle is going to work with her husband against against the Taco Man. Where did you read that? I had not seen that. Tilen says, I was realizing these 45 women all have mutilated their looks with all the cookie cutter plastic surgeries. They all have. I mean, look at how Carolyn Levitt is changing before our eyes. She's mutating from this rather innocent looking, kind of, naive woman to like this monster. And Bondi. So Celtic Seer says, unfortunately, the bombing has opened up another can of worms. Be vigilant in crowds, everyone. Lots of intense energies this summer. Celtic Seer, can you tell me about any transits or aspects? Is Mars involved? What's going on? Uranus? Oh, thank you, Sandra. You read it on YouTube. Les is saying, I need to go out for a walk now. Heat wave broke and can finally go out. Take a break. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Thanks, Melissa. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and have a wonderful walk, Les. It's good to be in touch with nature. We need to not lose ourselves in this insanity. Again, Guy said months ago, right? There's going to be a great inferno. We need to stand back and not get sucked into it. And I think that still applies. Celtics here says, Mars is traveling through Virgo, so pay attention to the details. Okay, you guys, I love you. Next Thursday, I'll try to come on. It will be a little later. It'll probably be something like 4, 3:30 or 4. If not, then I'll come on another day. But I love you, and I'm so grateful that you show up for my lives. Thank you so much. You're wonderful, you guys. JC says, be in the world, but not of it. Oh, whoops. There it is. Where are you? I wanted to put your, that's very good advice. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go. Take care. Oh, I'm still giving personal readings. Read on anything. My article, my information will be underneath the description box when I post this on YouTube. Okay? Bye-bye. Take care. Bye.